Shalom. Kol Hulo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name is Barad the Ball, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. Especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, making up the 12 tribes of Israel. Unto the elect, those who will sincerely hear these words, hopefully it's edifying, alarming in the case of understanding the times that we're in, and that it is completely, of course, edifying. This is a cautionary tale. I believe this is like cautionary tale 13 or 14. It'll be on the description when I place it. But this is, I guess, I'll have another name with it as well, but cautionary tale. Okay, let's just get right into it. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 39, verse 26. Well, excuse me, verse 28. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So there's spirits created for vengeance. And in this particular case, this was the sword. And in the sword in modern time, is any type of killing instrument. But we initially, a lot of times, will couple that with the gun. And so when the time of wrath, it appease the wrath of him that made them. And of course, the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, as it tells us in that the Lord create evil and he make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. It tells us that in Isaiah, also in Deuteronomy, it talks about how I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Okay. But nothing happens upon this earth without Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai sanctioning it, allowing it to be. Like I said, we always bring out, we talk about the king's heart, but this is the heart of all men, everyone that's upon the face of the earth. All things are in the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So thinking about Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1, where it says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and like rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Just as he turns the hearts and minds of the rulers, he's also have, his angels, doing the bidding and the work of changing the minds and bringing forth the judgment of things to come. And so this was again just a cautionary tale, and maybe say cautionary tale of judgment. But here we go. So it says, verse 29, fire and hail and famine. So you have fires, you have hail, storms, and houses. A particular house in general, like a day or so ago, was hit by lightning, and the whole house caught on fire. You had some random, well, maybe not random, but a guy ran into a school of children, taking out two young girls, elementary age girls. You had another man who ran into a crowd of people, unalive and 11. You're having planes falling out of the sky. You have tornadoes that's been hitting all over, massive storms and floods. All these things, of course, are created for vengeance, right? And then we have death and famine. Famine, they've been talking about the tariff situation, and along with that, people have been pushing to that the stores are going to be empty very soon. And of course, the prophets have spoke on it first, telling you about the storehouses soon becoming empty, many people losing their jobs, the grinding ceased, and people, of course, are going to have sedition and uproar in the streets for all these things that are coming upon of the earth. And of course, people turning against their government and taking things into their own hands. So then, again, it says teeth of wild beast, and we've seen many, animal bear attacks and lion and attacks and things like that. Sword, and he says scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. So of course, these things are made for the wicked, all right? And like I brought in a previous video, it says a lot of things that came, even the flood. When the flood came, it was for the wicked and to destruction, all right? So let's get this next. Let me get this next chapter. Let me see. I'll go down, read the next. This is Sirach chapter 40, verses 8 and 9. It says, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners. So these things happen upon all flesh, but it happens sevenfold more completely upon sinners. Death, bloodshed, strife, and sword, calamity, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. Okay, it says, you can look these things up. It says, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sake came the flood. So as you can see, like I mentioned in the previous video, like we were in the time of Noah, and Noah was prophesying and preaching. He's building the ark, and when the time came for him to go in, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, he sealed the door, locking them in that no one else could get in. And when it began to rain, then the people started to believe. And so we're in that time where we've mentioned in 1 Timothy chapter 3, where it says, in the last days, perilous times shall come. And we are in those times. And it's very small things that could actually could dictate whether you live or whether you die. And so that's why Yahweh Bashem Yahushai tells us, ponder the path of our foot. All right. We remove our foot from evil. It says, turn not to the right hand nor to the left, remove our foot from evil. So every day we're being circumspect. We're considering our ways, how we're moving in this earth, the people that we're around, the people we allow to come around us. And because again, in a minute, in an instant, things can happen. You had like about maybe 3 weeks to a month, maybe sometime last month, there was, you had the club where almost over 100 plus people, died. I forget I want to say the Dominican Republic. And so everybody was partying, just like in the time of Noah. He said people will be partying and giving in marriage and feasting and things like that. And then when destruction comes and happens suddenly, then everyone is crying in at an uproar. But the prophets have been saying it. We are at times where we need to be seeking Yahweh Bashem Yahushai while there's time, while there is hope for those who, or should I say grace, Salakia, grace. There's a time period. And of course, when that time period is ended, then all hell is going to break loose. Pardon the French. So this is the video. I just want to get this video. And again, I'll probably read just a couple, or I may forget, but I'll read a few of these statements. One other thing I would say, if at all possible, the scriptures say, live peaceably with all men. Think about things in which, as Yahweh Shai says, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So when you hear this statement, like I said, it may be something very small, but this is something that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have dealt with under the curses for quite some time. Something as small as stepping on a person's shoe, spilling something on someone's clothes, taking $1, something very small has led to many people losing their lives. And so now it looks as though this is happening unto Esau, Edom, so-called white man, as if these curses are transferring over unto them. So I'm gonna hit play, and then we'll go from there.
Tonight, a Houston family is mourning the death of their daughter. Police say that Ashley Long died at the hands of a random gunman in downtown Dallas, all over touching a Mercedes. Amelia McGavro hearing from the family, hoping that their pain can create some change with the kind of violence in the city.
I feel dead inside. She was my everything.
It's been a little over a week since Mother Michelle Long and her family laid their daughter, 28-year-old Ashley Long, to rest. Never again getting to go on an adventure or send her a text.
We always said goodnight to each other every night.
Ashley was a successful real estate agent in the Houston area. Her family says she was in Dallas on April 5th for a networking trip.
Night out on the town and then being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
In the arrest affidavit, police say one of the men Ashley was with reached out and brushed his hand along the passenger side of a passing Mercedes.
So that's the point, how you're on a night out on the town, and usually when you're adults and you're in these times, night out on the town, it also involves drinking and other types of behaviors. Maybe even drugs involved, but not saying what, that is, but just in general, when you're night out, those things that are involved. And when you're out late amongst other people, those people are also under influences of some sort of things as well. And sometimes those paths cross. And of course, the car's going by a Mercedes, and the man rubs his hand across it. And again, that was a striking point of this situation. And I know they say, oh, it's just over touching a car. But again, these things, the Lord had his reasons for these things to come about the way that it has. And it's unfortunate. But could he have not ever touched the Mercedes and they could have all continued to walk? That's a possibility, but this is what happened as a result. Okay, here we go.
As they were walking across the street, investigators say that's when 34-year-old Kendrick Finch got out of the passenger side with a gun. The man Ashley was with pulled out his own gun from her purse. Police say Finch then shot Ashley and the man. The man survived, but Ashley unfortunately died in the hospital from multiple gunshot wounds.
It was heartbreaking. Nothing I could do. I was so far away.
It was just like I was in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. She would have been there 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later, things would be different.
After police.
And just like he said, whether it was 5 minutes early, 5 minutes late, maybe if the guy never reached out and touched the car. See, now we're in the point of woulda, shoulda, coulda's. And we have to be more in the mindset of walking in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, knowing the situations that we're in, the people in which, you're around. Because again, when you are around certain people and they do certain things, it could actually lead to, you being involved. Okay, so that's why we have to walk in the ways of the Heavenly Father to the best of our ability. But let me read a couple of these and then we'll finish it. It says the boyfriend pulled out the gun and not doing anything was not very smart, especially since this angry man already had his out. It says they should have just let him win the argument and called the cops. All right. So, yeah, and that's why I said, if at all possible, live peaceably with all men. Also, you leave people things alone. If it's not yours, or, you have no reason to do certain things that may seem to be disrespectful. Okay. It may seem like it's nothing, but to someone else, it could be something detrimental, as we can see. It says the killer took a life over a car that did not belong to him, and that the killer is 34 years old. It says let that sink in. So again, when it comes down to it, whatever the situation is, People they idolize, because of idolization of things, it causes people to get into the situations that they're in. People idolize their women, their husbands, their houses, their children. They put these things, even themselves, above Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, not understanding that these things are here today and they are gone tomorrow. The things of this life are very temporal, and is really what boils down to it. Everything is that what's your true relationship with Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. And this is for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. It says, how stupid can you be and hot-headed can you be to shoot someone because they touched your car? And see, these are the things, these same statements, these are the things in which the so-called black, Hispanics, and Native community had to also deal with. I'll jump down here. People are too ready to pull the over nothing. Perilous times. It says he valued an imminent object more than someone's life. This is what we're saying. Some people, value things more than others, and the spirits and things in which people are under. It says 2 dudes, 2 guns, and not one brain cell between them. So we'll leave that alone from there. We'll hit play.
Search for the suspect for days. Video from Smash the Topic shows Finch turning himself in last Friday on murder charges. As Ashley's family now waits for justice, they still hold on to her memory, placing her picture at the spot where she tragically died, along with the numbers 444, which were her lucky angel numbers.
She liked to be the life of the party, but not the center of attention.
And also now wishing they just had one last chance to say goodbye.
I love you and I miss you, baby girl. I miss our time together. I miss hearing your voice.
In Dallas, Emily McGavro, CBS News, Texas.
A beautiful young lady. But again, the Lord is not, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is not a respecter of persons. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 12. It says, for men also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. And that's what actually happened in this situation. And we must, this is a cautionary tale, something that we must take heed to. So I hope that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting into the body of true believers. Before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the 4 corners of the globe. Until next time, all those listening and learning, to you, I say, Shalom.